Welcome back, everybody, to the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham. I have my co-host Luke Timmons here with me today, and we are on episode 42. We are on the week before Christmas. It couldn't be more merry. We got snow falling. It's beautiful outside. Temps are dropping. People are killing bucks. People are ice fishing. It's a magical time of year. Luke, how are we doing today?
Good. It is. I was a little worried that we were going to have another brown Christmas, but
I mean, how much snow did you guys get?
we got like almost 6 inches, 5-6 inches.
Wow, you got substantially more snow than we got.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got a lot of snow. I think
Well,
because I think we're supposed to get a little bit.
snowmobiling time.
Yeah, they're ripping around today already. Yeah, I think we were supposed to get a little bit more tonight, but I think it was somewhere between that like 4 to 6 range.
That's crazy. I want to say we probably got right around maybe 4, and it's still snowing right now, but I bet you we're going to be capped off probably at 4. First time broke out the snowblower, so that was nice.
Nice. Yeah, I'm still running manual power.
Oh, man. I gave up on that after our first year. Like once we moved into our new house, I was like, that is a present to myself, is I'm getting a snowblower.
Well, and you guys live up north and get substantially more snow.
You never know. Like I think it was our first year we moved into the house. That was the year I broke my arm. This is a PSA moment. Maybe we can overlay the video because I don't think.
Oh gosh!
I don't think half
it
of
actually
America's seen it.
Popped up on my memories the other day.
Did it? At least it didn't go viral on TikTok, so that's nice.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this is before this incident happened, and my wife and I shouldn't say my wife and I, our dogs went viral on TikTok and just on social media. I want to say their video is like well over 100 million views now, and we've made a whopping $21, I think it is, all said and done at the end of the day. Should have monetized it myself. But so anyways, my wife got about 25,000 TikTok followers in a matter of less than 24 hours. And I think it was the week after that, I was putting up Christmas lights a little behind schedule, about December 5th, I want to say it was. So a little earlier than now. And yeah, fell 14 feet off my roof, broke my elbow, shattered my wrist. Found out a week later after I went into the doctor that my wrist was shattered. And my wife posted that video on TikTok, and I was just waiting for it to blow up and just become a meme. And it never did. So that's good. But maybe it'll be a funny video that we share with you guys because I laugh at it every time I see it now.
Yeah, it's a doozy for sure.
It's pretty funny. My favorite part though is the broom falling off the roof, because it's like, why was I up there with a broom?
Yeah. That gosh, I would just look. I thought it literally popped up on one of my things. I don't know if it was.
Resend it to you.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Just like falling out of a tree stand.
That was a funny one. Yeah, another PSA, make sure you wear your safety harnesses, especially this time of year now when things are icy. And I think I've only fallen out of a tree stand once, maybe.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, yours is a whole nother incident. That's like,
yeah, that
was nasty.
Yeah,
I don't think did you ever tell that story?
Well, I mean, not on here, but yeah, it was a doozy. It was a stupid young man moment of thinking you're invincible, and slipped out of a tree stand and caught my arm on one of those screw-in pegs while I was, doing a setup before the season, and so hit the ground because I was 15 foot up a tree hit the ground, and literally like my dad says, I hit the ground and just like sprinted up the hill. And I literally hit the ground, sprinted up this little hill, and I was like looking myself over, no holes, no blood. I'm like, I can full movement of all my limbs. And all of a sudden, like my shirt, like I had a short sleeve t-shirt on, my sleeve was torn up. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And I looked down like the, head hole to the armhole, and literally could just see chunks of fat, tissue. like on my shirt. I'm like, uh-oh, something's wrong. And looked at it, and I mean, you saw the pictures of it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, nasty to say the least. And luckily, the guy we released the land from was a volunteer EMS guy, and so called him up. And I said, "This is where I'm at on your property," and he came right out on his 4-wheeler, picked me up, went back up to his house, kind of, cleaned me up, which was the weird thing because it never once bled, which is
I don't know if we'll overlay it, but it was a wild cut. I don't even know if you cut it. It was like a tear.
I mean, cut something. I mean, because
Yeah.
you could see the striations of the, tricep muscle. Cause I got a long sleeve shirt on, but I don't know if you can see it. There it is.
Yeah. It almost like, I don't want to say the word triangle but it kind of did.
No,
It was almost kind of like,
yeah,
it looked like a broadhead almost.
yeah, a really big one, just like like a top of a mountain peak, just. Whoosh. But yeah, I don't know, just basically just split the skin. That was it, and had 20-ish
It's crazy.
sutures later, and
Still hunted that fall.
still hunted that fall. Yeah, still got married that fall. I thought
Yep.
my wife was maybe.
God, that's right. That's the year that you got married.
That was like a couple months before. It would have been like August.
Wild.
Yeah, I mean, then we went to Maui for our honeymoon. So my biggest worry was being able to get in the water, and ended up
The
being
good thing is salt water. It'll clean it out. You're good.
No, it's the exact opposite. I thought the same thing.
What?
Yeah, we're going down a crazy rabbit hole here, but
we're not even talking. What are we doing? We went down a wild rabbit hole.
Yeah, but yeah. So actually, he said that the ocean has got so many, it is salt, but there's so many other particles and bacteria and microbes and stuff that are in the water that would be not a good thing. So
interesting. I would assume you would have been worse off in freshwater.
I don't know if it's much better, but salt isn't good at all either.
Yeah.
So
just
don't
learn something new.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So yeah. Long story short, wear your harness.
Wear your harness. Yeah.
Yep. But you had some pretty good success here lately. You want to walk us through that one?
Christmas came early for me.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to harvest my personal best buck to date for anywhere, really. I don't really know necessarily yet because I've never, and it's not about inches, but I've never scored my mealy, but I want to say my mealy goes right at about almost 150. But it's got velvet on it, so it's hard to score it technically. But Christmas came early.
Yeah.
Santa's reindeer messed up, and I got came home with a really big buck. But no, I'll kind of walk through it. It's been as you guys know that it's been following the podcast all year. It has been a grindy year for both Luke and I, and especially myself. I've missed a couple deer, wounded probably the biggest buck of my life in South Dakota, and never recovered them, which was really unfortunate. But the good news, I got a good feeling that deer is alive, and maybe next year we'll be able to shoot him again. But this was probably the last weekend and this was last weekend. This is probably the last chance I was going to get to actually get out and hunt. And we were coming down for a family weekend, which is always interesting because we need bigger vehicles because, we only have one kid. We have one on the way now. We've got 2 dogs, and we were bringing my niece down as well. So trying to plan this out logistically, we have a GMC Acadia, it's big, but it's not that big when you throw all those people into it. And then we have, I got a 1500 Chevy that's a crew cab, and it's big, but it's not big enough for everybody. So I wanted to take the truck so I could bring all my hunting stuff because I usually pack for 2 weeks when I really don't need probably a quarter of the stuff. And got told that I couldn't take the truck and needed to take the family car. So I had to logistically plan to pack as light as possible because the original plan was to just do a big pheasant hunt, not to deer hunt whatsoever, and just the pheasant hunt. And we had some people fall through, and it ended up just being Luke and Eric and I. But so I packed my muzzleloader, and my shotgun and like very minimalistic clothes. And we planned on pheasant hunting Saturday morning at night, like bright and early. I shouldn't say bright and early, but like 9 o'clock sharp. We wanted to be to our spot at 8:30, and that's usually your best chances to go kill a bird. So in my head, I was like, well, I have probably 30 minutes to sit in a tree, and sure enough, it was a misty, kind of rainy, sleety morning. One of those mornings where I gave myself about a 2% chance of seeing a deer, not killing one, but seeing one. And at this point in the season, I've got tags burning holes in my pocket. I was, hungry for venison, and I was shooting the first thing that came by me. If it was little doe, forker, didn't matter. It's getting whacked. And sure enough, got up in the stand really early, which was good. Sat in the middle of this woods. It actually wasn't on the farm. It was on another family farm that we have about a mile and a half down the road. And sat up in the middle of the woods. I scouted it the week before. There's a really good travel corridor that they've been using, but hard to tell. In southeast Minnesota, we didn't have any snow. Up north we have tons of snow, and tracking's really easy. And this is kind of my favorite time of the year when we do have snow, because finding fresh signs pretty easy. You can figure out where the deer are. And
Hmm.
I went on years of assumptions and just knowledge and sat where I thought. And usually this particular woods is really good late season for just cruising second season rut bucks. And sure enough, I was sitting up there. The woods is dead quiet because everything's wet. I do a little turnover to my head. Sure enough, stud of a buck. I didn't even get a look at him. I just saw that he had a big rack, got my gun ready, gave him a little map at about 30 yards with the muzzleloader. And I learned my lesson because I've shoulder shot 3 deer in the last 3 years. And I know it's a muzzleloader, but I took it about, I don't know, 6 inches, what I thought it was, back off his back shoulder shot. He was kind of quartering towards me. Or no, I guess he was kind of broadside, and shot him. Watched him walk off, didn't run, didn't trot, kind of walk off, wasn't flicking his tail, which was really concerning. But how the woods is laid out, I'm just trying to draw a map for you guys. How the woods is laid out, I could see everything to the south of me and everything to the north of me, and the tree line is about 100 yards. And I never saw this deer go south, and I never saw him go north. And there's a big ditch, so I was like, well, either he's dead in the ditch or he's bed in the ditch. And I kind of just threw it in the back of my mind because I didn't want to think about it. And I have a couple other tags in my pocket because it's the CWD zone, and it was wild. I mean, this is probably the best hunt I had all season for seeing deer, because this is crazy to think that for the 5 acres of food plots we have and how the season's played out, that I haven't had a mature doe in front of me this whole season, which is wild. But our farm's weird this year. We have a ton of young yearlings and well, you killed a really big doe, but we just haven't had a lot of big does. And same thing up north. I just haven't had a crack at one. And sure enough, there was 15 does that came in, and they were just running around. You could tell that there was a couple hot does, and it was just madness. I picked out the biggest doe, shot her. Keep in mind, I went into this woods with 3 bullets. That was it. Which I probably should have brought more, but usually I bring 3 or 4 muzzle and extra primers. And I messed up and I only brought 3 primers. But the funny bit is that I only brought 2 primers and I couldn't find my 3rd primer. And backstory a little bit, I shot at a doe the weekend before, and my gun must have had wet powder or something like that, and just went toop. So no bullets came out. And so I shot this doe, and I could tell I just 10 ringed her. I assumed that she went probably 80 yards, hit her right in the shoulder, or back of the shoulder. And then I had 3 other bucks come in, and I had 2 other does come in. And this is right at about 8:30. And I remember texting you. I think I texted you, or did I call you?
You text me first because I was saying where were we meeting for pheasants.
Yeah. I'm like waiting to go on this pheasant hunt, and was like, I just shot a big buck, and like, no,
and I
didn't.
thought you were messing with me, so I was like, whatever.
And I'm trying to get Eric up and motivated. Eric had a fun night the night before, and I was trying to get him motivated to come out and walk 10 miles with us pheasant hunting. So let alone they go track a deer, and none of us have even come close to sniffing a big buck. I think we've seen a couple, but we haven't had any like close up opportunities.
Right.
And so it was about 8:30, and I told myself that, well, I should probably get down, see if I can't get some eyes on this buck, because I knew the doe was dead. Wasn't sure about the buck. I got out of the stand. I still have probably 5 deer within 100 yards of me that are just milling around. I get down. It's really starting to sleet at this point in time too, so I wanted to get on blood. And I just literally got to the right of this tree stand, popped around this big oak. This is a big oak savanna, I guess you could call it. And I could see horns going like this, moving, and got eyes on it, and that buck was alive still. And I'm like, oh my God. So he's still alive. I think I was calling and texting you, telling you guys to get ready to come help me track this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to stalk within probably, I don't know, maybe 70 yards of this deer, and just kind of waited him out. Wind was perfect for me. I didn't bump these other deer that are still out kind of in the thick stuff. And it just was dumb luck again. He got up probably, I don't know, 15 minutes later, probably by the time that you guys got there.
Just about,
And
yeah.
Just about. And I was, anticipating this deer was going to be dead. And he got up, and it was a chip shot. Shot him again, probably at about 65 yards. He dropped like a sack of rocks. Come later to find out that I think I gut shot him the second shot, but it was enough to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And walked up to him, and there to be, and he is the biggest buck I have ever shot. And it's a deer that I want to say I have pictures of from maybe 2 years ago. Hard to verify, but I'll have to look closer. But the neighbors were nice enough to send me some trail camera pictures they had of the deer. But he was like a mile and a half away from where he was. So dude was out just dogging, chasing does, which is crazy.
Jeez. Yeah, that's pretty cool that you got the trail cam pictures too of this year, because it adds a little bit to it.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing about that whole morning though is I brought all my stuff to film that morning, and you know that tree stand just as well as I do.
Yep.
It's this big 3-way split oak tree that's just huge. And I was like, I had all the assumption that I was going to sit for literally 25 minutes and leave.
Yeah.
And it would have been the easiest hunt to film. And you know what though? I tell you what, I thank you and Eric for being there and just for taking photos, but he died in probably the most perfect spot.
Yeah, do that every time.
He literally died at the corner of the field edge, so we literally just drove the truck down, loaded him up in the truck, and we're done.
Easy peasy. Yeah, there was no dragging that guy out. He was just lugging him up into the truck and take him home.
But it was a fun day though. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of, it was like one of those hunts though, like you wish maybe you could have got to enjoy the moment more of like seeing them come in, do all that stuff. But like at the same point in time, for the amount of second guessing and just like stuff that's happened, I'm kind of happy the way it did happen, because like my natural instinct of like just reacting and shooting, and it worked out. And it's pretty cool too to know that like, it's only my second shoulder mount I've ever got, so be cool to get him back. And we had a whole day planned still, and I think what time were we out of the woods by? About what, 10:30?
Yeah, probably sounds about right.
Not too bad after taking photos and stuff, and you did a really good job with those.
Thank you.
And then then we went pheasant hunting, and we killed some birds too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not ideal weather. I mean, it was an ice storm, and at the last spot, I mean, I think Rogan was just messing with us, but I mean, he got birdie about every 20 yards and just no birds.
It was brutal.
It was like
we walked we probably walked like what, 6 miles, 7 miles,
probably
about that. Know. But that last spot though was hilarious because he was just every 50 yards was just like, oh, here we go, get ready, nothing.
yeah, exactly. Well, and the weather was completely, just a sleeting storm of nastiness.
It would have been cool though to have I think we said this too. Obviously, we had some people bail out on the pheasant hunt just because the weather was bad and we weren't sure what was going to happen. I mean, it was we were sliding on gravel because the
Yeah,
ice was that bad.
yeah,
But it would have been a fun day to have a camera guy just follow
yeah,
you around because it
yeah.
was like picturesque, like beautiful out.
Yes, yeah, it was, and yeah, we got a few birds, and it was just one of those days where it's just kind of like everything. It's like yeah. It's kind of fun to like. I always there's. It's funny because I know you're the office guy, but Andy from the office has a quote that says, I wish I knew what the good old days were before they are gone." You know what I mean? But it's it's true. It's like when you have those moments in time, you're like, oh, wish I knew like that was at that time like such a sweet thing.
Yeah.
You look back on different things in your life, whatever. But like those little days like that day was like one of those days you're gonna look back when you're in your 60s and be like, God, that was such a cool day. Shot a giant buck, went pheasant hunting.
Found the doe. Forgot
Found
about
the
that.
doe. Yeah,
Found the
she
doe.
was not far.
No, and
Actually,
it
and
remind or go ahead.
no, I was just saying we found another buck.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. We
Yeah,
found
I
another
don't.
stud
Yeah,
that I
unfortunate.
still don't know who shot that deer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that one. If
Neighbors didn't know, and
nope.
he was too far gone to like assess what happened.
Yeah, it was basically ribs and skull.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but a stud. I mean, I don't know how old that
yeah.
deer was. I just saw, this is a side note, but like I just saw a new thing today that, and I know you can send your deer into the state or wherever, but there's a new company out there that I saw that like you can submit your teeth in and stuff, and they do all your,
Oh, CWD
assessing
testing.
and no for like aging of your deer. Like
Oh,
I would have liked to known how old that deer was.
I would guess young. I would say either young or very old.
My buck.
Because no, which one? I was talking. Sorry, I was
Uh,
talking about the one we found. But you're
well,
talking yours.
either or. I think
Yeah.
mine. God, it's hard to say. I don't know, just because sometimes you get deers with short noses and long noses. Usually, you assume if they've got a short face that it's an old deer, but I've seen reverse effects of that too. But I don't know. I bet you my deer, just based off of like the mass he had, I'd say he's
Mm-hmm.
probably like 5.5, maybe 6.5.
Yeah.
Hard to say. I don't know. But like that buck, the other one we saw, I mean, I don't know. I only thought he was like a 4.5-year-old maybe, and
Mm.
he was a stud.
The one dead
The
one.
dead
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said it, like you mentioned, like late season is one of your favorite times to hunt, but it is, you know, if you can suck it up for,
It's
the,
magical, man.
it can be, nobody else is, you know, out there. So, there's not as much pressure. It's cold. So you got to really dress
It's
for it
cold, and
sometimes, but
the deer are grouped up for the most part.
yeah.
There's that small window, the second rut, potentially third rut, depending on where you live. And I usually love it. Like I'm kind of sad that I'm probably done hunting. In my wife's eyes, I'm 180% done hunting.
Yeah.
But I know I can go whack a doe again with my bow. But it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you know what? There's more important things. I got a buck and I got a doe and I got meat for the freezer now, and just be happy
Mm-hmm.
with what I got. But yeah, late season is one of my favorite times to hunt, and that's why it's such a weird year with the farm. I know there's a couple chisel plow fields of corn, which I think have really taken a lot of the deer's effort from a food perspective of why we haven't seen them on the farm. And I really
Mm-hmm.
do think in probably about a month, they're going to just all of a sudden we're going to have 30 deer on the farm crushing the greens and the
Yeah.
turnips. But next year, just got to plant more corn.
There you go. Yeah. It's, we'll see what happens. I'm going to try and get out in the morning. So,
Dude, you saw the sign too. And like, that's the fun thing about pheasant hunting late season is like you get a
mm-hmm.
really good glimpse uh with what's going on in the woods, because I mean, you kind of take the risk of blowing up your woods, but at the same time we got to see some things that we haven't seen all year from a sign perspective.
Right.
It's a free way to get out and scout. We found some really, really fresh big rubs. So, I mean, I know there's big deer in the area still.
Well, yeah, that one, I mean, had to have been
It's huge.
hours behind the
Yeah.
pond. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't have a clue where I'm sitting in the morning. I usually decide as I'm walking out.
walking out. That's one of the favorite. I just saw. I can't remember what meme it was, but it's like one of the funnier ones that I've seen because it happens me. I don't know why that happens. You go with especially in the morning hunts. Evening, I feel like you get because you can see. In the morning you're walking out, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to this stand, and it's especially worse when you're like almost like from a public perspective where you're gonna like hang and bang type of deal where it's like, all right, I know I need to be in this area, and then you spend 20 minutes like looking up at trees like, well, I
Which
think I
one?
should go in this one, maybe
Yep.
this one, and then it's like starting to get light and you're like, oh god, I gotta find a
Go.
tree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part with the hanging and banging or saddle hunting. It's you get the general location down, but then there's like 4 trees right there, and you're like, which
That's
one of
why
these?
I loved your idea, man. We're just gonna go through and prep trees this spring and winter. That is what we're gonna do. We are gonna prep like 50 trees.
And just go wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. Well, 50
Yeah,
might be excessive, but
yeah, I was gonna say 50 is a little crazy, but that's all right. No, it's gonna come quick. I mean, we're going up to Duluth for just the us and the kids for New Year's, so we'll be. Yeah, I got about just over a week and a couple days of season left, and then it's
crazy, man. We're
tying a
here.
ribbon on it. Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and I know we've kind of done the same podcast for like the last 3 weeks. I feel like talking about late season deer hunting and pheasant hunting, but that's kind of what we've been doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll chalk it up to where my season's probably done. I might get a pheasant hunt or two in, but it's that hunt for me that reminded me so much of the year that you shot your buck, Autumn shot her buck, and I shot my buck all in the same weekend. That's
Mm-hmm.
probably the closest I've had to it. The only thing would have made it better is if one of you guys would have shot one too, but
Yeah. Well, maybe tomorrow.
maybe, hey man, you
Never know.
Never know.
Never know. Yeah, can't kill on the couch. So
No.
it'll be chilly. It's gonna be in the teens, and so I'll get out for a few hours, hopefully. And
You got fresh snow though, man. I have
I know
high hopes.
I'm almost kind of tempted to just slow walk the woods.
So with the CWD late season hunt, isn't any weapon of choice besides a rifle, I guess?
Mm-hmm. That's my understanding of it.
That's good. Okay.
I'm gonna pull up the. Now you got me second guessing here, man.
Have to triple check it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like one of my favorite. I'm just trying to think of other like late season memories. My first trad buck I ever killed was probably about this time of year. I think it was the week before Christmas. I was probably we were living together. I think I want to say it was like fresh out of college. But tracking in the snow, man, that's like my favorite. It's the best.
Yes, you can use any weapon, and actually, you can use any unfulfilled archery, firearm, muzzleloader, landowner license.
Wow,
you
they
have
really
leftover.
want deer dead. That is crazy.
Yeah, shotgun zone remains, but yeah.
So can you kill any? How many bucks can you kill?
I still
As
think
many tags as you have?
No, it's still. I would assume it's still the three buck zone.
That's still insane, but
yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna shoot 3 deer tomorrow.
Get her done, man. Come on.
If I shot a doe, I'd be happy.
Break out the snowmobile.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't. Yeah.
I have memories of my dad though. He would do that. It'd be like this time of year because he'd always take like either the golf cart out and he'd drive it like all the way down the woods. And we don't have an electric one. I wish we did, but it's a gas one. It's still fairly quiet. But
yeah,
if we get to be this time of the year and he'd rip the snowmobile down to the deer shack, I'm just like, Dad, you're not going to see a single thing.
He just
driving that thing down the woods.
Every deer. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I mean that's something to be said with that too, though. It's just kind of that. Where hunting kind of comes into play as far as like your peace, your awareness, whether you harvest an animal or see an animal. Sometimes it's just a good reset button.
Oh, for sure. And I think, shout out to my buddy Ross. he's the one too where he hit it on the head about 2 weeks ago for me, where it kind of all clicked. Like we were talking about my South Dakota hunt and how much of a, I don't want to say a failure, but obviously if everybody listened and remember that story of where transmission broke, we still went 2 for 3 on bucks, which is awesome. Super happy for Noah and for Eric, but I had a rough go on that and was just down in the dumps and kind of second guessing myself and am I a good hunter or whatnot. But like he said it best, he's like, sometimes you just got to have a little bit of luck. And I think there's a lot of truth to that, especially after the hunt that I had, because I just had zero expectations of anything happening and was just kind of going out at, I was just going to go out, shoot a deer and have a good time. And I got lucky that it was a big buck and never know, man. Christmas miracle, just start throwing Hail Marys.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's crazy that it's, like I said, it's the end of the season
here.
and
It's
Christmas
sad.
is less than a week away, and that's good. So,
well, it gets me a little bit excited too. I mean, like I don't have a single thing for ice fishing ready, but I'm definitely ready to start taking Nora out of ice fishing. She's already been asking me when we're going to go and when we're going to get back into skating and playing hockey and, having more attention to other important things, I should say. But it does get me a little bit excited too, because like now we can start kind of, my mind's already been rolling for habitat work of what we can do and get ready for next year. And the whole process just starts over again.
It's a cycle. Yeah,
Yep.
actually just started reading. It's over there. Started reading Phil Robertson's new book.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just came out this year. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. And it's kind of good. I'm about a couple chapters in. It was just kind of talking about relating kind of what this, I suppose, podcast is kind of about. Finding that your faith in the outdoors, regardless of what happens. On a hunt. You could just be, talking. He talks about like out in the duck blind, obviously, and stuff. And
what's the book called?
I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
Oh, I thought you were joking. I didn't know that was the title of. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, super good.
Better look.
Yeah, but super good. I mean,
that's a pretty typical Phil line right there. I love the title.
Yeah, right. Could be wrong, but probably not. But no, I mean, we talked about it with Jake from Chasing Green the other week, but just watching that show growing up as a kid and just the fact that they intertwine the faith piece into all the episodes and all their hunts and that kind of thing was cool to see. And it's obviously what we're trying to do here too with Wild Face. So, but yeah, man, it's been a year. It's been crazy, and like you said, it's going to be hit the old reset button on January 1 and start all over again. Groundhog's Day.
Well, the fun thing, and I look at it this time of year too, and obviously it's a good time to reflect and be thankful for a lot of things. And, we're thankful for everybody that listens and that's, helped be a part of the podcast and all of our people that have come on as guests. And we just thank all of you guys so much for everything that you've helped contribute to promoting the good word of the Lord and just your knowledge of the outdoors and your passions. And, it's been fun. It's been a fun journey up to this point. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're almost closing in on a year because it feels like we literally just started.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we did.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It is crazy. Yeah, man. It's been fun. It's been, I mean, my favorite part about this whole thing has just been being able to connect with people I never would have met not doing this, all the
for sure
awesome guests we've had on, or, just meeting whatever people out on when you're out hunting and stuff too. And it's been a lot of fun. So it'll be fun to see what the new year brings.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think looking back on it too, it's just been, I think we tried talking about the last podcast. I'm trying to think of how many podcasts we've actually done in total.
I can tell you pretty quick here.
It's got to be over 70. Or pretty close.
It's got to be close.
But that's like the funny thing to think about is like, if you were to tell me when we started this thing that we were going to be, we'll just say 65 or 70 episodes in, because going into it, you and I we had an idea and we had a mission that we weren't going to half-ass it. And we wanted to build, not be perfect, because we're not. There's so many things, we say this all the time. There's so many things that we're working on to get better on, and trying to improve on things, and and obviously we're limited a little bit on our budget for what we have for money and what we can. We with little wins, like we got new mics, and we were able to get new setups for our camera gear, and
Yeah.
slowly making improvements to what we could deliver from a media perspective, and getting better guests and working on getting more and more people on and stuff. So it gets me excited to know that we hit the ground running. I feel like we did a really good job with the year, and hopefully that correlates with everybody listening. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed what we have put out there. I don't think we have had any hate mail yet.
No,
that I
that's
that I
a
know
plus.
of. But
yeah, so 58 episodes counting this one.
gosh, is it really 58?
Yeah. So
It's
we did
crazy.
nine turkey talks and 7 chasing the ruts.
The funny thing about doing those double episodes, it just feels like we've done 100.
Yeah, those well, what did I just say? 9 plus those 16 weeks those were some
Grindy
weeks of
super fun, but like
yeah.
From 2 dads and working class men, it was strenuous.
Yeah, it's 12:30 at night and you're still trying to record a turkey talk or something, but yeah.
Well, that's like the funny thing too. Like like right now it's 10 p.m. our time, and this is the time when we got the kids to bed, and it's like, hey, we gotta pound out an episode.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. I like it. So it'll be we've got some cool guests lined up too for the upcoming couple weeks here and month, and we'll just keep trying to grow this thing and see where it takes us.
Love it.
Sweet.
Well, I think this is a good spot.
Well, I got a couple quick fires
Okay.
for you now.
Okay.
We can't end without a
quick fires, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Christmas edition.
I love this. Okay.
All right. Famous favorite Christmas movie.
Ooh. I'm going to have to say, man, that's a hard one. Like, I get one.
That's it. It's the only Christmas movie you can ever watch again.
Wow. One. I'm going to go half. Oh, geez. If I had to pick one Christmas movie, kill me. I would probably have to say Christmas Vacation. Just it's a classic. I don't know. Especially after falling off the roof, I think that just adds to it for me, where it's just like, yep, that's me. Yep. How about you?
Same.
Yep. Okay.
Not even a question.
What about a second? Close second.
Oh, the original Santa Claus with Tim Allen. From like 93 or something. Yeah.
I would have to say either The Christmas Story, or I'd have to go with like the old school Rudolph one with like the land of the Misfit toys.
Yeah,
that's
we
a
watched
great
that
one.
last night.
Yeah. It blows my mind how they made movies like that. I'm so thankful, being in with some of my new crew members and stuff like that, and just always talking shop with like filming and editing and stuff.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about movies the other day and how they filmed stuff back in the day and how older movies are better than they are today. Like, I want to know how long and how they made movies like that back in like the 40s or 50s it was. God, I'm going to have to quote myself on that. I want to say it was like 50 something when that came out for Rudolph.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It's crazy. Okay, what do you got next?
All right. Favorite like Christmas like tradition that you have with your family? Something you guys like do every year, or
the Murray side, probably one of my favorite ones is playing Pictionary with our family, because it is cutthroat competitive and it's girls versus boys every year.
Nice.
And it is intense. From the Bungham side, we didn't really have a lot of crazy Christmas like traditions, I would say, just because all of us kids were kind of older and we just had kind of a smaller family. But my favorite would probably just be how we always had just the most amazing Christmas Eve meal. We would go all out. It'd be like Fleming on steaks with like lobster and crab, and we'd
Oof.
usually mix it up every once in a while. But that was pretty much like my dad's favorite, so it would look forward to that about every year.
There you
How
go.
about you?
That's like that. I like that one.
It's a good one.
Something we do now. I'm not gonna say Elf on the Shelf because
Hey, we just
I'm
started that. This is the first year.
yeah. Have fun next year.
It's my favorite because like every morning, and I'm sure you were probably the same way when you guys started it, and I'm sure everybody else kind of does it uniquely in their own way. But every morning, I just love it, and just because Nora's at that age, but she is just in disbelief that elf moves, and she's
Yeah.
just like, "Where in the hell did he go?"
Yeah. That part is the best. It's
Oh, it's so funny.
it's 10:06 on a Thursday night here, and
I
that
gotta go
Elf
move
has
him.
to. Yeah, same. So, nah, it's fun, but nah, something we always did, and just from where we used to live, the big Severson's Christmas light display. I don't know if you remember that, where you drive
Yep.
through it and there's 8 billion lights. But something we always did was just drive around, listen to Christmas music in the car, and
Nice.
so that's something we do with the boys too. And then bonus tip for parents: if you do it late enough, they fall asleep in the car, and you carry them in, they put them in bed. It's a win-win.
That's a win-win.
But no, there's just something fun, especially now with like the snow and stuff. Just driving around, the kids' eyes just light up with the lights, and some people's lights, you can turn to a station or something. So
Oh yeah.
they love that. But yeah, I mean, it's fun, and just getting together with family and stuff, and you know, it's good. Go to we usually go to Christmas Eve mass, and then Christmas Day with the boys, and yeah, it's fun.
Nice. Yeah,
I said
I
like
will say
three there, but
that's okay. I will say Christmas Eve mass was probably a close. Well, obviously it just kind of converted here not too long ago, but the last 2 years now that's been really enjoyable. But we always went to church as kids, and that was always probably like my favorite moment. It gets quiet and they light the candles and you sing Silent Night or whatever it is.
oh
Like
yeah,
that's
lights
a
are
good
off.
memory.
That's a goosebumper one, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
every time.
yep, yeah. It's always fun, I guess growing up as a kid, we always in the Christmas plays or Christmas kids choir or children's choir and stuff. And now as an as an adult, it's kind of cool to see, or listen, like the children's choir Christmas Eve mass is always really really nicely done and put together. And like you
Yeah.
said, they turn the lights off and everyone sings. It's it's the reason for the season.
So do you guys do Christmas Eve presents or all presents Christmas morning?
Bowl. Well, so we go to my, Tim inside,
Yep.
Christmas Eve, go to mass, um, get together with them, exchange, gifts, from grandma and grandpa or to grandma and grandpa, that kind of thing. And then we go home, wake up at our house, which is nice. And then wake up with the boys on Christmas Day, and they open their, presents for mom and dad and Santa. And
Nice.
then we go to Jenna's side of the family that evening. So
Nice.
they get a whole bunch of times to open presents.
That's good. Spoiled
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Same. So I've got one for you.
Hmm.
I got two, and then we'll wrap her up here. And
Sweet.
we'll close it with a prayer. So first one, what is your go-to holiday treat? There's lots of those floating around.
Yeah, my wife has been a baking machine lately, so I'm just looking in the kitchen and trying to think of what's in there. I mean, my favorite is just a classic sugar cookie, I think.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
My mom always made those, and put the frosting on there with little, we decorate them as kids and stuff. But one of those, either probably unfrosted with a cup of coffee in the morning. That's
okay.
It's pretty tasty.
Mine, I don't think you'd guess mine. And
Favorite
mine only happens if the stars align. And it's kind of sad now though too, because they're getting up there in age. But
it's not a fruitcake, is it? Oh,
no,
okay, good.
lefse.
I was gonna say
I hate fruitcakes.
Yeah,
gross.
Ugh.
No, coffee
Okay,
cake's good, but no, yeah, lefse, man. I bring out the Norwegian roots in me. So good. Okay, so last one.
Hmm.
Would you, preferred choice of drink, I guess. It could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic this time of year. Like it's obviously a time of celebration.
I don't know.
Are you an eggnog guy?
No. I'm
No?
pretty much stay the same. Coffee, water.
Okay.
Have a couple, beers or something when we get together, but that's
It's probably the
No.
one time that I'd probably have a glass of wine.
yeah. That Thanksgiving we always do like a
Yep.
glass of Riesling or something, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
How about you?
Cool, man. Yeah, probably,
Wine?
like I said, well, not a lot. I'd probably have like a glass because it's her most horrendous hangover in the world. No, I'm not a big eggnog guy. Then again, I've never ever really had it or like homemade because like I've had it from like a carton and it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, same. I'm like coffee, water, have a beer.
Yep.
Call me good. I'm not a big mixed drink guy, so I'm not a fan of that. But I would say though, if I had to pick for that, it'd probably be wine or maybe like a really nice like whiskey or scotch, something like in short fixings of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
good stuff, man.
nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
It'll be fun.
Let's close it with the prayer here and let everybody get back to their night. This is actually one of my favorite parts too, because it's always fun because I think you're probably the only person outside of my brother-in-laws. I'm trying to think who else was there. Yeah, just those guys with the inside joke with my dad, with Ron.
Oh, yeah.
Where he just, it's like so fun to surprise it on people where it's like, and yeah, go ahead and lead us in prayer.
And go ahead. Yep.
What? We didn't talk about this. We didn't put it in the clause of the contract.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, dear Lord, so much for this night, for this opportunity to get together and talk about you and talk about all the blessings that you've given us, dear Lord, and for being thankful for this time of year and celebrating the real reason of Christmas and celebrating your birth, dear Lord. And we just want to give all the glory back to you. And we just want to be thankful for this year and reflecting back and all the fun that we've had with all the people that we've had on the guests and hopefully all the people that we've been able to help and influence and bring to you, dear Lord. And we just want to give all the glory to you and just ask that you watch over everybody as we travel this Christmas and protect our families, keep them safe. And we just want to just give thanks and know that this holiday is truly about you, dear Lord, and that you're with us all and be with us in spirit and be with those that aren't with us and that they're watching over us, dear Lord. And we just give all the glory to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen, man.
Good stuff.
God is good. Christmas is here. It's a fun time of year, and you got some. I know. I was like, I did that at the beginning of the podcast too. I'm gonna just start rapping.
Yeah, there you go.
And you got deer to kill, man.
Yep.
I'm excited to have another redemption podcast.
2.0. Hopefully, we'll see.
2.0. I'm gonna get a plaque for that deer. It's gonna be. I'm gonna name him. I said that like after I kill him too. It's gonna be the Redemption Buck.
There you go.
So we'll have a Redemption 2.0 for you. Someone still needs to kill Hightower and Babe. They're still running around.
Hopefully it happens. It's at this point. See what happens.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Well, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you after Christmas. Right? Yeah, after Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith and the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.